Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for the Q&A of The Delivery. I'm really excited to have the producer, director, writer, and one of the actors here with us today to kind of talk about their inspiration for making the movie and all the behind the scenes that went into it. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys. Before we get started, I do want to remind everyone to remember to rate the movies. Whenever you're done watching, it's going to help us determine our audience award. Excuse me, oh my goodness. And then also I want to thank our sponsors for this film, both our major sponsors and the sponsors for this film, Manzanita Property Inc. We couldn't pull this festival off without you, so thank you to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate it. Okay, I want you guys to just kind of introduce yourselves and kind of what brought you to this project. How'd you get started? How'd you meet each other? What was just kind of your inspiration for getting this thing going?
I am the producer of the film. My name is Vasco Çiftçioğlu, and
I'm the writer and director of the film.
And hello, I'm the actor.
the lead actor.
Yeah, the lead one.
Yes. Okay, and what was kind of your guys's inspiration for writing this and just kind of telling this story? Why did you feel pressed upon your heart to kind of tell this story?
We live in Cyprus, and as you know, this little island is also on the way of refugees to, they're using island to run away from the war, to find a safe place. So we time to time face humanitarian crisis, and we see people drowning at the seas. Police find people washed up to the shores time to time. So we face this crisis firsthand here. And so I wanted to tell a story about this, but I didn't want to do it in a way like showing it from their eyes, because it doesn't feel right to me.
Right.
Because I'm not in their shoes, and I can't do it in a righteous way. Mm-hmm. So when I tried to find a way out to how to express my feelings, how to express my views about this, I asked my question: where are we in this thing? And actually, we are in the smugglers scene,
right?
Actually, because people are coming to our island, and so sometimes we help them, sometimes we use them. So I try to reach out people who try to escape and end up here, and listening to their stories. I came to a place that I wanted to write it in a way that tell a story from a truck driver's point of view, because I have also listened to some stories about this. So that's why I wrote it this way.
That's awesome. And Izel, what kind of, as an actor, what attracted you to the script that made you want to portray the person of the truck driver?
Well, actually, for me, this is, I think, the third draft from those which I had read, actually, before we say before we start the shooting. So as the driver, it was, to me, it's a kind of very interesting perspective, actually, because we're not the refugees, but we are trying to help them, but we are trying to help them because we need their money. So right. It's a very tricky, and also it's a very wide perspective in terms of acting for me, because this kind of topic is kind of real in our geography, in our situation in this country, because we heard too many stories like this, which is happening really in our town, in our island. So as an actor, it is so familiar, I mean, the situation, right. But in terms of a father and the driver, because I have to do this, and unless I do it, I'm going to lose a very important thing to me in my life. So this is a very tricky and high energetic and very stressful situation for an actor to create, because it's not only understanding the situation of the refugees or someone trying to helping them because of money. So for me, it was a very interesting situation as a process in terms of understanding the people which are playing an important role in the refugee's life. It is very important.
Yeah, no, that's so awesome. And I think the story is so interesting because he, as the truck driver, he's sacrificing these child refugees to save his child, but then in turn, because of all of that, he ends up saving all of them because they don't get on the ship, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of this odd like dichotomy of like I'm glad I did it, but also like shoot, like that was selfish a little bit. Like, where do you guys kind of see that balance whenever you were writing it or whenever you were playing it? Or yeah.
Actually, one of the main things bothers me about this is the situation we have here, and also while writing down the main character, the thing is that he believes that the only chance to save his daughter is to do this.
Right.
He knows that it is not a good idea to do it. He, at least when he sees the kids, he's sure that he shouldn't do this because, I mean, the kids couldn't do it. But he chooses to believe that he has to do it. And I believe like in our lives, we persuade ourselves to do things that we know that it's not good, but we want to believe that we have to do it.
Right.
So the evil things, if there is an evil, let's say, the evil things people do, they mostly do because like they believe that this is a thing that they have to do. Like it's not like that. Like there are so many like evil people doing evil things. There are so much normal people, let's say, doing not so good things because they believe that it's their only chance. So in our truck driver's case, I think it's the same. His wife tells him that, okay, we can make a campaign. You don't need to do this, but he doesn't listen to that choice.
Right.
And he persuades himself to do it. So this is one aspect. And other aspect is that when you read about the interviews about those human trafficking, like those smugglers, lots of them say that we are helping them.
Mm-hmm.
So this helping is also a very tricky aspect because yes, these people want to run away. These people want to escape. Right. So are we helping them? Let's say even if you don't take their money, just do it for them. Are we helping them really? Or are we sending them to death because we know that lots of them wouldn't survive in sea and they're gonna die, and we see it all the time. So right. What is helping them is also another question, and I think it's a big question. Like, is helping them to run away, or helping them to stay in your country, or is helping this situation of this war and conflict in the world? That, because I mean the best situation, like helping them would be like helping them to live peacefully in their own land. So helping them is like, as a human race, thinking about what are we doing. I mean, is it saying that we are making like wars all the time, like in every second in different parts of the world there's a war going on? Right. So yeah, it's also another aspect, like helping them or not.
Yeah. So our audience coming out of this movie, what do you want them to take away from this? What do you want like the action steps to be? Are there what is something that we can do, and what maybe has been the response from other audiences that have seen this movie, and how can we help that, like you were saying?
I mean, if even one person questions about doing a thing that they believe is not the right thing to do, but they think they have to do it, so they do it. I mean, if we can question our choices, if we can question whether or not we have choices or not, because sometimes we believe that we don't have any other choice.
Right.
And also, if like one person thinks about refugee crisis, that I mean, those people don't want to left their homes. They just want to live peacefully in their own homelands, and like all those things happening, like lots of people see refugees as people coming to their countries and trying to steal their jobs and like making so much fuss. But I mean, really, do they want to do it? Really, is any, I mean, of course we want to travel and see the world, but in a perfect world, everyone would love to stay in the place. I think they are born, and they have their own families, and they I mean, this is the ideal situation for everyone. So if one person even thinks about that, I would be so pleased.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And I think this movie did, it brought up a lot of that, and it did bring up a lot of I think just conversation pieces. So kudos to you guys for just kind of getting that conversation started and all of that. I do want to just ask, because I noticed in the film there's a lot of moments where it's very quiet, right? Like you can't, like, it's very quiet and very like, it makes the audience kind of go in and also feel like you're in that intense situation, and like nothing else in the world matters. Like I'm right there with you, like trying to bring this kid back to life, right? So what were some of the kind of stylistic elements that you wanted to implement into the movie like that, just to push the movie forward in a stylistic way?
You haven't spoken ever, so.
Yeah. Let me say that this is a low budget short film, so we shot it in sorry, we shot it in 4 nights, I think.
Nice.
And it was really difficult. It was cold, and when I say cold, for Cyprus it's like 3 degrees, maybe -1 maximum, but it was very cold for us here. Yeah, but as I say, it's a low budget project. It was difficult to find, let's say, the means to organize. We don't have a big filming industry in Cyprus, so it was difficult to form the team and to find the necessary funding, and then to move on. Like the filming was difficult because, as I say, the meat in the track, it was difficult to find it. It was difficult to keep it, and our actors and the team acted really good, and in this cold and very difficult situation, it's more than they spend really enormous energy on being and acting in this good way. But it was difficult setting up the scene, making the track, and shooting the traveling scenes, shooting all those meet scenes. That was, it was difficult, very difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And consider to the short films, in let's say in US, we are much more low budget.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it didn't appear that way, I'll tell you that.
Thanks.
We shot it. We spent, there is a lot of volunteer work as well, and we try to spend our funding in a good way. So we shot it with red, and we try our best in terms of finding the necessary equipment, like lighting and sound and camera wise. We spent the funding in that way. But yes,
Totally. No, it's, I mean, It did not look like it was a low budget film, so good job.
Great,
Used
thank
the
you.
resources well.
Very nice,
Thank you.
very good.
Absolutely. Well, we're running out of time, but do you guys have anything else that you really want to talk about, or how can people keep up with you guys? Are there new projects in the works? What are some kind of closing thoughts on all of this?
So we have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. So if they like it, we will be so pleased, and they can learn about the film's journey from there. What else do you want to say? One of our producers is also a Syrian refugee, Laurel Basha. She couldn't join us today, so she helped shaping the story so much. So we really thank her. She's not here, but we really would like to mention her. Yeah, maybe Isel wants to say something.
I would like to thank you, Grace, that you organized such a great talk tonight in our country, and it's the morning in yours, I think.
Early morning.
It's quite good meeting, so I would like to thank you.
It's very good to meet you guys, and I think that's what's so cool. You know, I mean, obviously with everything being virtual right now, there's a lot that we aren't able to do, but it does make it possible that I'm able to talk to you guys, you know, like
yes,
you guys probably wouldn't be able to, you know, come over here and do a Q&A with our audience. So it does open up a lot of, it does open up just a lot more. So I'm really excited that, you know, we were able to get this, because it's something that our audience wouldn't normally get with this film. So thank you guys for taking the time to
Thank you very much. Thanks for selecting our film.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was so nice to meet you guys.
You too.
You too.
You too.
You too.